After a patch absolutely jam-packed of AP carries, patch 12.19 reintroduces some of the first new AD carries of the set. Here is our top 5 comps for you to try. So let's jump straight into it, literally. With jumping assassins flying under the radar, the Predator Cat is back. Reroll Rengar carry should now be slicing up enemy backlines. With the help of Darkflight, she'll abuse Zeeks to load up your remaining Predators with tons of attack speed. So your comp's going to consist of Rengar, Swain, Neela, Kiana, Diana, Aphelios and Rel. So because of the Darkflight trait, you'll have more items than most of your lobby, which makes this comp really strong in the earlier mid-game. And to keep your board strength, you want to slow roll at level 7 to hit Rengar 3-star. Speaking of Darkflight, Zeke's Herald is what makes this comp tick. Put this on a 1-star Kiana and let her be sacrificed, giving it to all of your Darkflight units. Keep in mind though, with Zeke's you'll have to line up your board in the backline so you can get all of those Zeeks stacking together. As for carries, Rengar is your main carry, and as a Darkflight he'll already get the Zeke's item copy at the start of each round. Being an assassin by nature, he obviously loves Infinity Edge most though. And for your final item you want to go for some healing in a Hand of Justice or a Bloodthirster. The Tyrant Swain is your secondary carry. He'll spread his Dragonlings onto most of the enemy board, so giving him a Morellonomicon will be massive. Then you want to follow up with a tank item such as a Gargoyle Stoneplate and some scaling in an Archangel Staff. The highest cost assassin Neela will take all of your remaining items, although another Infinity Edge is really all you should try and get for her. As for augments, it goes without saying that any Darkflight or Assassin Heart Crest or Crown are instant pickups. But since assassins are quite squishy, Thrill of the Hunt will really help you out. Before we do get onto our next pick of the new patch, make sure to check out the links in the description for full guides for each of our new comps. Next up we have a composition that is just a bit too persistent to get any worse. Guild Xayah 2.0. You should all know the drill by now. Play a beefy frontline with Shyvana, Hecarim, Jace and Rakan and have your squishy units with damage, Xayah, Bard and Twitch in the back of the board. As a default leveling comp, you'll level up at a regular pace and stabilize at level 7 by finding a copy of Xayah. In stage 5 you'll push for 8 and complete your board by adding in the Ragewing Dragon Shyvana. Xayah is your main carry and her best in slot items are Gwynsu's Rageblade, Giant Slayer and a Lust Whisper. Your secondary carry is that Ragewing Dragon Shyvana and her itemization is pretty flexible. Ideally though, you do want to go down that utility route with Morellonomicon, Archangel Staff and of course Ionic Spark. The two frontliners Jace and Hecarim prefer anything defensive, although anything left over should work on them just as well. For those augments, Guild Heart or even a Crest or Crown Emblem on Xayah will unleash the true power of this comp. Press the Attack or Scorch are also instant pickups though, as these are going to buff up our teams and main carries damage by a significant amount. Number 3 on our list is Dragonscorn. Yup, you heard that right, Scalescorn and Dragons are the new best friends now. With the exciting rework, you can now play your usual carry Olaf alongside any dragon, without losing out on that extra Scalescorn damage. Therefore, you'll load the team up with all remaining Scalescorns in Diana, Braum and Lilia, and have the frontliners Syphen, Pantheon and Rakan for a bit more sustain. As Olaf and Diana are our core Scalescorns, you ideally want to 3-star them, so level up to 7 by stage 4-1 and start your slow roll strategy staying above 50 gold. If you're scared of losing too much HP though, roll a little bit more aggressively to hit those missing upgrades. Olaf is most of your damage, and to ensure he hits like a truck, try to give him a rapid fire cannon first. This way he'll start throwing his axes from a safe distance. Then go for some damage and extra sustain in Infinity Edge and Bloodthirster. Next up we have Syphen. Now as a melee carry, she'll love Bloodthirster, Titan's Resolve and Quicksilver. And then finally we have Pantheon and Diana, who can make use of most leftover items. In the best case though, you'll give Pantheon all those tanky items whilst Diana wants everything utility. The best augment for this comp by far will always be base count. Any form of scoped weapons is also pretty good, as it lets you replace RFC for a third offensive item by repositioning a little bit. And any Scalescorn related augments such as Heart, Crest or Crown will make playing this comp easy peasy. Next up we have Team Green. Jade units got buffed a couple of times already, so this comp can be really good now. Shi OU, Jace, Jax, Soraka, Olaf, Nara and Wukong will give you the green light to go for this comp. This is a default leveling comp that spikes extremely hard in the mid game. All you need to do is rush to level 7 around the end of stage 3. Find a copy of your main carry and Jade Dragon Shi OU, and voila, you have 3 statues on the board and 7 Jade active. As the main carry in this comp, Shi OU needs a lot of healing or utility, so give her Edge of Night, Bloodthirster and then something like a Titan's Resolve. Next up we've got Jax, who's your ideal tank, so throw everything defensive his way, like a Sunfire Cape, Gargoyle Stoneplate and Wormwalk's Armor. Lastly we have our beefy shapeshifter and AP item holder, Jace. Archangel Staff, Ionic Spark and a Protector's Vow are really good right now, but due to his rework they might change pretty often, so have a look at our site to find the strongest items for Jace at any current time. For your augments, it's obvious that you should pick up any Jade Heart, Crest or Soul. Any form of Knife's Edge is also perfect for this comp, since your entire team sits in the first 2 rows of the board, but don't hesitate grabbing that trait specific augment like Eternal Protection. The last comp on this list is all about Dragomancers. And this one's called One Shot Lee. You guessed it, Lee Sin is the blessed Dragonmancer in the focus who gets backed up by Ao Shin, Yasuo, Volibear, Kai'Sa, Set and Karma. Now you can really force this comp every game as long as you 3-star Lee Sin. You want to go for level 7 and start slow rolling. If you do need to stabilize though, don't be afraid to roll a little bit more aggressively and 2-star your entire board whilst also finding a lucky copy of Yasuo to activate Dragonmancer 6. As you know by now, Lee Sin is the main carry of this comp, and since he'll start alone in the front line, you want as much healing as possible. Bloodthirster, Hand of Justice and some damage with a Jeweled Gauntlet is all he wants. The secondary carries in this comp are Ao Shin and Yasuo. Since you want Ao Shin to cast ASAP, he wants a Spirit of Shojin and really just more AP. Yasuo can hold really anything, especially tank items, but if you happen to have lots of tier components, give him blue buff, Titan's Resolve and an Edge of Night. For augments, you can pick up any economy augments that'll make 3-starring Lee Sin easier, such as Dragonmancer Conference. Any Dragonmancer Heart, Crest or Crown will spike your board with 6 Dragonmancer way earlier. And then you've also got Axiomark, which makes Lee Sin kick out enemy Little Legends one by one. Well, that's going to wrap up our top 5 comps you have to play from our Challenger experts. As always, let us know what you're playing and check out many more comps with full guides over on our website. All the links are in the description. Take care.